Junpei, Clover, Snake, and Seven looked at one another, nodded, and stepped through. The room they found themselves in was full of books. It looked remarkably like a library. Not the sort of library where large numbers of people came to read books, more the sort of library that was simply a place to store books. He felt a little overwhelmed by the sheer number of books, but Junpei did his best to speak with authority.
Alright, if we want to get through the door out there, we need the Neptune key. I say we split up and look for it.
Okay.
Very well.
Good. Let's get started then! We don't have a lot of time! Hurry!
Alice sleeps in a small chamber past the forest of knowledge. As he began his search for reasons he didn't fully understand, Junpei felt those particular words flow through his mind.
You know, having fun isn't too hard without a library card. Just putting it out there.
Alright, so, the rest of the series is actually going to be post-commentary narration because I recorded all of it and all my narration came out silent. So if anything seems a little off, that's it. Anyways, we're going to try not to spend too long in the library because there's like a million things to click on in here.
Teletemporation and telepathy. What the hell is this one about?
Well, I know what telepathy is, but I've never heard of teletemporation.
It refers to having the ability to travel through time.
Yeah, see, there's a million things to click on and a million lines of dialogue, so you could spend a long time in this room if you wanted to.
This book is called, Mind Swap.
You mean you could, like, change bodies with someone? Well, I guess I wouldn't mind switching bodies with my brother Junpei too much. I'd rather die than let Seven switch with me.
What the hell? Like I'd even want to swap bodies with a little brat like...
Hey, were you imagining it? You were.
Shut up!
Yeah, well, he wasn't the only one. Kitab el-Azif. Man, they have some weird stuff here. I can't even pronounce this one.
Who's that? Some famous guy?
It's not a person's name, it's the name of a fictional book created by Abdul Ahazred. It's said to be one of the sources used in the creation of the legendary Book of the Dead, the Necronomicon.
Oh, so these are all occult books and stuff. This one says, The Golden Rabbit and the Moon on it. Does that mean it's about a rabbit that lives on the moon? Rabbits are pretty cute, but what's the moon stuff about?
It's talking about the Judas tree that is said to grow on the moon, according to Chinese legend.
Right, so... I totally forgot what I was going to say. Oh yeah, we're looking for pop-up books and lights. That's the whole point of looking through these shelves, is to find those. Once we find those, we're pretty much set for this room. So this room could be really short or really long. It depends on how long you want to look for this crap. Luckily, we're not going to spend more than 2 episodes on it. Because we don't need to.
Creatures of the South Seas, huh? I wonder if this one's got pictures of colorful fish and stuff.
This one says transition of extinct species.
We need to hurry it up, or we're going to end up in the pages of a book like that.
The theory of evolution. Heck, even I know that one. That's that Darwin guy, right?
Well, yes and no. Charles Darwin wrote a book called On the Origin of the Species. In it, he put forth his theory of evolution.
Yeah, I remember that part. He called it natural selection.
Exactly.
Mother Nature.
Is that some sort of book about hippie chicks?
Probably not, except perhaps tangentially. It's most likely about environmental protection.
I was just trying to make a joke.
Dude, hippie chicks? Really?
Theories of the Cambrian explosion. Did a bomb go off near somewhere called Cambria?
A wrong kind of explosion. Roughly 500 million years ago, during what is known as the Cambrian period, research suggests that the variety of living organisms increased by an order of magnitude. Why that happened is, however, still something of a mystery. There are a number of theories. This book is, most likely, a collection of them.
Snake sure is a smarty pants, isn't he? We're gonna find that out more and more in this room as we look for these books.
Paleontology. This one's about fossils, right? Ammonites are pretty nasty looking.
Isn't Ammonite an ancient race of people?
Why did mankind lose their tails? Junpei, do you know what this one's about?
Why are you asking me? I didn't even know we had tails to lose. Maybe you should ask a human with a tail.
Mankind's ancestors most likely lost their tails as they were no longer useful, and the nutrients required to grow them were better put to use elsewhere. At least, that's what I read. I was rather young. I may have remembered it incorrectly.
Huh. Why the hell would a kid be reading a book like that?
Obviously because he's Snake.
Micrographia, huh?
Ah, yes, Robert Hooke's famous work. First published in 1665, he built a microscope and examined insects, inorganic substances, and other things too small to be seen in detail by human eyes. He then drew pictures of many of the things he'd examined and published them in a book. I'd hazard a guess that this shelf is concerned with natural sciences.
And on to the next shelf, yeah.
Energy theory. Huh. I don't even understand the damn title. Looks like this shelf's all science and technology.
You gotta love when you get a generalized shelf like that you don't actually have to look through. What do we have here? Ooh.
What's the deal with these titles?
They're all just gibberish.
Hey, what if we, switch them around?
Switch them around?
Yeah. If we move them around, maybe they'll spell something.
Oh, I get it. Yeah, heck, it's worth a shot.
You know, despite doing this off screen, for some reason think the top books are supposed to spell nope. I don't know why. When they're really supposed to actually spell open. Like, this is a really easy puzzle. If you just get, like, one of the words correctly, it's pretty much it. So, because they all line up. So, it's supposed to say open here, find bold. Which took me way too long to figure out.
How about this? Looks like putting those books in the right order open this thing right up. That was a piece of cake.
Hooray! You did it, Junpei!
I guess that turned out well enough.
So the letters from the title spell out, open here, find bulb.
Thank you for repeating what I just said, Clover. Light bulb! Okay, we've been through this shelf already. Okay, what I'm looking for here is I think there's supposed to be a light bulb behind a number of books here, but I don't think it's on this shelf. It wasn't on this shelf either.
Energy theory, development of nanotechnology materials, interactions between shortwave energy and matter. What else we got?
Just listening to you read those titles is giving me a headache.
Can't say fancy technology stuff and I get along real well. Keep on talking about that stuff and you're gonna put me to sleep.
That's how I feel about reading this in this room, when I don't have voice acting.
The black hole hypothesis, gamma ray astrophysics.
I guess this bookshelf has an astronomy theme.
A kid's book? Here? It looks like it's a children's story about Native Americans.
Don't you think a random book like that is kinda suspicious? Maybe you ought to hold on to it.
Yeah, kid's book!
This one has some Native Americans on the cover. Hey, Junpei, take a look at this one.
Native Americans, huh? Maybe he's got some— Whoa!
And there's our first pop-up book. Junpei's gonna get surprised by those quite a bit, even though he'll see 4 of them in this freaking room. Yeah. Still trying to figure out where that other thing is. Downstairs! Get out of the way. The downstairs area sure looks interesting. This puzzle.
There's a couple of books on the glass shelf. From left to right, they say Volume 6, Volume 3, Volume 2, Volume 4, Volume 1, and Volume 5. In the middle of the glass door is a cylinder lock.
This puzzle is actually incredibly easy, which is why I'm ashamed I had to find a walkthrough to figure it out. All you have to do is click on the books and then just put the lock in whatever order the books are in on the shelf. I mean, that's really it. I mean, I couldn't figure it out the first time, and I tried so hard, I eventually had to go cheat.
You did it, Junpei! Yay!
I don't know why, but I don't really feel particularly happy about being praised for that. Whatever. At least the lock's open now. Let's see if we can get it open, alright?
The game freaking mocks me about it after I spend all that time trying to figure it out. God, what a jerk. And we get a light bulb. Yay! Backing out.
Modern Japanese literature, huh?
Hey, there's another one of those picture books here. Something about these things feel kinda nice, you know? Brings back good memories.
I guess even people like 7 were kids once.
No shit, you little brat!
Hey guys, cool it. Alright, I think I'm gonna take this picture book with me.
Getting kinda hostile up in here. Jeez.
It's got a magic wand on it. Okay.
So, what's inside? Well, aren't you going to open it?
Pretty sure it's just gonna have pages inside. Smart at— Whoa!
Because you haven't seen a pop-up book yet here, right? Please. Silly Junpei.
It's a small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands.
Hey Junpei, do you think you're supposed to put those pop-up books on the stands? Then you can open them up.
Oh yeah. If we do that, then they would make a shadow on the bottom there.
True, but there are 3 stands, right? We don't have enough picture books.
In other words, we need 3 picture books.
Which, we have 2, so we just need 1 more wherever it is.
This one. Looks just like that picture book from earlier. The one with the pop-ups.
You think they're part of a series of something? They do have the same binding.
And there's the 3rd one. Oh yeah.
There's a baseball on this one. Come on, Junpei. Let's see what's in it.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say it's probably baseball stuff. Whoa!
Because it's clearly not a pop-up book like the last 2. God. Well, we have all 3 pop-up books. Now we just need to find the light. We're making mucho progress through this room. Ain't we? There's no light on that shelf. What about up here? Is it over here? No. Man, see, the last light bulb that's hidden behind the books is kind of hard to find. That's why it's taken me so long to figure out where the freak it is. Yeah, we've been through this shelf already. Crap. Might have to skip soon and freaking save you guys some viewing time of me just floundering around trying to figure out what the crap to do.
This handrail is made of metal.
Oh, so obvious, Junpei. Ugh. I think I'm just rechecking all the shelves, like, one by one, just to make sure I didn't miss it somewhere. Because it's on one of them. It's gotta be. I mean, we've checked everything, though. Dang it, this place really needs, like, one of those, like, Dewey Decimal Systems where you freaking... They need Dewey Decimal Systems to find where these darn lights are. That's what they need. This whole room is just an Easter egg hunt. It's ridiculous.
Algebraic number theory. Math, huh?
There's another one like that over there.
You mean something like primary number theory, or analytical number theory, or geometry?
Oh my gosh, how did you know? Nobody said anything about those.
Well, number theory is usually split into 4 chief disciplines. If there was a book named Algebraic Number Theory, I took a wild guess that the other 3 would be there as well. Looks like I was right.
That's a weird book, Junpei. Indian mathematics. That's funny.
Why is that funny?
Clover confirmed as racist.
It says Riemann hypothesis. What's there to hypothesize about with a Riemann? Isn't that pretty straightforward?
Heavens no! There are many factors: length, girth, lubrication, or lack thereof. It's an exciting and rapidly growing field.
Whoa.
The opinions of Snake don't affect my opinions. What the crap is a Riemann?
Let's see what we've got here. So many books here. I wonder what this one's... Whoa! What's this? Warm.
Oh, sorry.
Oh, no. I'm sorry.
Let's all put on our shipping goggles now, yay! Even though the clearly canon pairing is Junpei and June. They seem to be wanting to force Clover and Junpei on us lately.
There are dim lights on the floor. Dim lights are set at 3 points across the floor. Maybe I put them on top of the stands.
Let's try it!
The small enclosure with 9 sides. There are 3 of these things that look kind of like music stands. Okay, how about we try putting these picture books on the stands? Then...
This is a little weird.
You can sort of see the letters. It's too dark in here to really tell, though.
Well, that probably means our light isn't bright enough.
Honestly, I don't know what their problem is. I don't have a hard time reading that, even without the lights.
Alright, so there are 3 lights in here. I'm gonna change these bulbs. Now they should.
Awesome! It worked!
Way to go, Junpei! Good job, buddy.
There's something projecting on the bottom.
These letters, they seem familiar.
Sheldrake 5. Wonder where that's from. Sheldrake 5.
Sheldrake.
Junpei read the text out loud.
I think I saw the rest of this collection somewhere.
Yeah, I think it was somewhere around here.
Let's go take a look.
Okay.
7 and Clover walked off, leaving Junpei and Snake behind.
Have you heard of him? Sheldrake, I mean.
Junpei grinned.
Yeah, Lotus told me about him.
There's a British biochemist named Sheldrake. He has a rather interesting theory. Morphogenetic field, which relies on the theory of morphic resonance.
Really? From Lotus, huh?
Well, Clover also said something to me about that stuff.
She did.
Yeah. What was it?
The ability to access the morphogenic field is affected by a couple of things. The first is epiphany, and the other is danger.
That girl. I told her not to tell anyone.
You did? Why?
Junpei's eyes narrowed.
Look, man, I didn't push it because we're in a hurry, but I'm kind of sick of this. How about you just tell me, okay?
Tell you what?
Don't give me that. About the experiment.
Snake's shoulders slumped and he shook his head slowly. He'd finally given up.
Fine. I'll tell you everything. But not here. Let's move to the top floor.
Junpei nodded. With that, they climbed the stairs to the top floor. Snake was silent for a moment after they arrived, then finally crossed his arms and spoke.
I suppose I might as well start by telling you why I kept quiet, and why I made sure Clover did as well. To be honest, the explanation is quite simple. Zero told me not to. I had little choice. He didn't walk up and tell me, of course. He gave me a message engraved on a card.
Snake reached into his sleeve and pulled out a small, stiff piece of paper. It looked a good deal like the one he'd shown everyone on the central staircase.
So you had 2 cards.
No, only one.
Huh? What do you mean? I thought that card just had some rules for the nunnery game on it.
Yes, it did. And those were the rules I read you. However, they were not the only thing on the card. There was something I didn't read. Well, perhaps I should say, there was something I couldn't read.
And that was...
Tell no one of the events that took place 9 years ago. Tell and I activate your sister's detonator.
Oh. Well,
Snake nodded.
Well, what about Clover? Did she get a message from 02?
I don't believe she did. But doesn't it strike you as strange that Zero would shut my mouth and not hers?
Yeah, that does seem a little weird.
To be on the safe side, however, I told her it was best not to tell anyone. Still, apparently she told you. That girl.
What's wrong with her telling me? I figured some stuff out with the things she told me. I mean, it looks like the whole activate her detonator thing was just a bluff. She's prancing around downstairs, happy as a clam now that you're back.
Snake glanced down at Clover and 7, examining one of the bookshelves.
That's very true. I've decided I can trust you. I've decided to tell you the truth. The chance that Santa is Zero is very high. I feel I can assume Santa doesn't have the time to observe us at the moment. And at any rate, even if he were, I very much doubt he would kill us.
Why not?
Clover told me about the four-leaf clover, about the words. If he knew about that, then he was in my group during the first experiment. I'm sure of it. He wouldn't kill us, no matter what the situation was.
Snake paused and cocked his head as though he was listening to something very far away. His face looked dark, as though something was weighing on him.
Hey, Snake?
Junpei wasn't quite sure what to say. Snake turned and looked at him.
Yes, I know. You want to know what happened during the experiment?
Yeah.
How much do you know?
Junpei relayed to Snake everything Clover had told him. The morphogenic field and the experiments 9 years prior to that had dealt with it. How the experiment had taken place simultaneously at 2 locations, one being the ship and the other being a building in Nevada. How they'd played the nonary game. He told him everything. And finally, he told him how a girl had died during the experiment.
Oh, she told you that, did she?
Snake looked down. His face was tight. A slight tremor shook his body and he tried to hide it. He was putting on a good front, but even Junpei could tell that he was holding back something deep and powerful. He made as if to brush something from his face and looked up at Junpei.
At any rate, I now know how much you've learned. All that remains for us to determine
Is who did this and why, right?
Yes.
Can you tell me what happened?
Snake nodded slowly.
The people who organized the initial experiment were from a company called Cradle Pharmaceutical. There were 4 of them running the show. Gentaro Hongo, Nagisa Nijisaki, Teruoki Kubota, Kagechika Masashido. Hongo was the CEO of Cradle Pharmaceutical. Nijisaki was his right-hand man and did the lion's share of the planning. Kubota led the company's research and development division. Musashido was their majority stockholder. It was these 4 people who planned the initial experiment. Let me simplify it for you. Hongo designed it, Nijisaki put it all together. Kubota developed the technology required, and Musashido provided the cash.
So it's Hangao, Nijisaki, Kubota, Masashido.
Junpei couldn't shake the sense that he had heard these 4 names somewhere before.